email one again.
Yep.
Sorry, Danny.
Here we go.
You're gonna be there in a minute. It's loading up. Hit record.
Oh yeah, we've been recording. We're here. We're doing this. We're live. We're
going live.
Live.
We're live now.
I've got a 60% chance that we're already live right now.
We could be.
That's pretty good odds. I'm liking
really
it right now. I'm gonna let Roy Air just do a little dance.
Okay. Would you like me to sing?
I would like you to do a dancing jig to make all these fine people have something extremely awesome to look at. We're definitely live. We're definitely in front of people right now.
Right.
And we're excited about it. So for those of you coming in, we are going to have a heck of a day today. So we are super honored to have
very, very honored
Danny with Coconut Cartel joining us this evening to talk about their amazing rum and their amazing new rum, which I will turn around so you guys can see in our beautiful camera that's working super well at the moment.
This is the original, which you can tell
we drank a little bit.
We've sampled that a little bit here and there, and this is not our first bottle of this.
No, so we're excited to get into the story, the backbone, kind of learn a little bit more. I'm gonna let some people join in. We got some Daniel. What's up? Welcome in. We're gonna have some questions going on. Some good
Feel
stuff.
free to ask questions as you hop on.
We got the chat down here, so give a thumbs up if you love rum, because that's just what you do. And if you don't love rum, hit the thumbs up anyway, because you have stuff to learn today. You got to figure it out.
You're here to learn. We're all here to learn.
And I'm super excited. If you guys are new, joining in, maybe you know about Coconut Cartel and don't know about us. This is the best rum community in the world. Why? Because it connects everyone. We're creating
this is the
best community where everybody,
all the rum people are the best people.
We're going to connect good people with good rum through a good time, and we're going to do it right now. So with that being said, without further ado, because Danny's just sitting there smiling, and we're building up all of this. Danny, welcome to the show.
Welcome all.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a big hype. I hope I can live up to the,
you deserve it.
You deserve it.
You deserve it. I told you before. I feel like we've got like a rock star. It's like a rock star rum right here on the show tonight with us.
We're setting the bar high because it deserves to be there. You said it there yourself with an amazing product, the craziest story in rum.
And we'll get there,
which is absolutely incredible.
So I want to start off a little bit. So I want to kind of talk a little bit about the original Coconut Cartel product that you had brought out. This is the Guatemalan dark rum with coconut water. So for those that may not be familiar with Coconut Cartel, and maybe not as familiar with rum as general, so this is Guatemalan dark rum with coconut water. So is this like a coconut rum?
No.
I love that answer.
Perfect.
No.
Okay. So
I don't like Malibu. I like this.
I'll actually, I take that back. It's not a coconut rum in the way that we've been told what a coconut rum is, but it is rum, and it does have coconut in it, like coconut water in it. So it's a real coconut rum, I guess.
That's the best description of it ever. A real coconut rum. This is real.
So this doesn't classify with some of the other so-called coconut rums that are out there, because so many of those are flavored with whatever it is that they put in there to flavor that, to make it have a coconut flavor to it. The dark rum in here with the coconut water is exquisite. This is a very, very, very good rum. And that's one of the reasons that we're so excited to have Danny here. I know she's been working all over the world trying to promote her product, and she took a little bit of her time to devote to us tonight. So thanks again.
No, I'm so here. Thank you.
Yeah, I want to dive into it here. So because this is the best story ever. We've told everyone we don't deserve to tell this story because it's going to sound so much cooler when you tell it. Please tell us how Coconut Cartel started. Where does this journey begin?
Where does it begin? What year does this journey actually begin?
So the brand Coconut Cartel actually started in 2012. So I guess 12 years ago, almost 13 years ago now. And we didn't initially get our start in rum. we got our starts in coconut. So it was about the time that like Vita Coco and Zico and these big coconut water brands were coming to the market here in the States. And they were, commercializing coconut water as a health food or health beverage. And my brother and I, we grew up in Central America. So originally our mom is Guatemalan, our dad, he's Venezuelan, so he's not Central American, but we moved back to Central America when we were kids. So we were born in Miami. Our parents moved here when they were kids. So first gen American. And then we reverse migrated, I say, back to Central America. And so we grew up drinking coconut water from, the guy that's selling it off the side of the road. We grew up on farms, right? So like a big agricultural economy where like a lot of people and their families make their livelihood out of growing things and being our food crops, right? We feed locally, and then we also are like huge exporters of food to the United States. So when the coconut water boom started happening, we started, and here's where the name comes in. So a friend of ours had a beautiful coconut farm that wasn't really being used for anything. Had been planted 100 years prior for, the whole region, most of the region had been planted for almond joy, for the candy bars. And then there were a bunch of wars and like things that happened that kind of like split the land up, and like the almond joy people left to Asia, and these farms, these amazing farms with these coconuts were kind of left there abandoned in such a way. So when we went back to Central America, my brother sort of saw, like, kind of came with American eyes, I suppose, of capitalist eyes, and you're like, coconut water is big in the States. And he sees this little coconut again that we were used to drinking as kids off the side of the road, which is literally basically the nut inside of the big green coconut. You peel off the husk and you're left with this brown inner nut, and you can pierce the top of it with a car key. Super easy. Just pierce a hole into one of the little 3 eyes that you see on it, pop a straw in it, and it's a natural juice box. So at that point, he's like,
that's awesome. That's so cool.
Delicious too. It's like the best coconut water you could have is straight out of a coconut, hasn't been pasteurized or doesn't have any added preservatives or anything. It's so good. And my brother at that point was like, oh my God, like I need to bring these back to the States. And so he loaded his suitcase with like 200 or 300 of these little coconuts about the size of a softball. And literally like on a farm loading suitcases, and then goes straight to the airport and flies up to Miami. And so the whole vibe of it felt like he was essentially smuggling coconuts back into the US from an island off the coast of El Salvador. So it's this naughty, like, smuggle situation. And that's where the name really came from. The first few times of going back and forth and smuggling coconuts into the US. That's where the name Coconut Cartel comes from. And I don't want to like go through the whole story right now, because I'm sure you'll have questions that it'll come up with, but essentially the brand and the roots of the brand go back to agriculture, go back to farms in Central America, and our obsession with coconut water started then. And we really got to know coconut water over the years of being, importing. That turned into like from suitcases to container loads of coconuts coming up. We learned just like all the magical powers that coconut water has. And if you think of like the density of coconut water and the minerality that it has, it's natural minerals. It's like, it's so powerful when you combine it, which is what we learned over time, when you combine it with spirits. It really has this like unique chemical reaction at some level that I say acts like salt on a chocolate chip cookie, right? When you put salt in your food to enhance its flavors, right? Like, so coconut water has this special effect that when you combine it with spirits, and in our case, because we're rum drinkers and we come from a rum making country, and that's just what we do, what we know. We started using coconut, rum with combining rum in our coconuts, and became obsessed with this combination. And that's where, like, over time, over years, we started developing what would become now Coconut Cartel, and what makes it really unique and why the coconut water is a differentiator. And that's why it's a coconut, why we call it, it's coconut and rum. It's the coconut water that we're really elevating here and using. It's not a coconut flavor, but it's
right.
The power of the coconut by way of its water. not flavor.
See, I think that's so big. Like in rum, right? We have this bad stigma around coconut because there's a lot of sugary flavored coconut in it, and people are like, I don't like coconut, or that's too sweet. That's,
Yep.
not a rum. And I think this is really changing the game for what coconut rum really means. And I love the way you said it originally, like this is real coconut rum. This is not a sugary sweetened drink. This is deliciousness from amazing coconuts that goes down smoother than any rum you're ever gonna have. It's absolutely incredible, and I just love the whole thing. It's amazing.
Well, thank you.
So your brother's bringing in suitcases into Miami full of coconuts, and how does he go about selling these? I mean, how does one take a suitcase of coconuts and actually turn that into money, right?
Um, the simple answer there is a backpack and go, right? Like just
Yeah.
to start. And so, we started showing it to people who owned juice bars. We showed it to where the breakthrough came was in my brother threw a party and had the coconuts there at a party. And one of the beverage directors for like a big hotel here happened to be at the party, and he's like, dude, you got to bring these over. Like, let's show this to the team. Like, these are awesome. That was a big moment. And then we did a trade show, a bikini, it was Miami Swim Week, a bikini trade show where like all the fashion brands are coming to buy whatever, swimwear, right, for the season. And so at these trade shows it took place on Miami Beach, right? Like think like a big tent on Miami Beach. And you have all these like gorgeous models walking around, and like they're drinking these coconuts, and they're just walking around the show with these coconuts. And they were going back to their hotels and taking the coconuts with them. And they were branded. They said Coconut Cartel on them. So pictures start popping up on Instagram, which was new then, right? I think 2013
Nice.
is like Instagram is
That's
going
so
having
cool.
models taking selfies of drinking coconuts at a beach resort. And so like very quickly it became a hospitality play. Like the juice bar thing didn't really like have an impact. It was like between the party and the trade show of it appearing at the hotel pool deck, it then became like a thing that the beverage directors for the pools were like, I need to have those. And now you can find them everywhere, but yeah,
Well,
weren't
that
fresh coconuts anywhere before. We were the first people to be really importing fresh coconuts for like hospitality.
Yeah, because that's nobody had.
is so cool.
We'll just call it nobody had the coconuts to bring coconuts into the
No.
country. You guys stepped up and were like,
Hey, we can do this.
We can do this.
Yeah, why not?
It's happening.
Why not? Why
I love
wouldn't
it.
we?
That's
That's awesome.
Yep.
I can picture, the branded coconut says Coconut Cartel right on it.
I'd want one.
Oh
That's
man,
amazing.
absolutely.
It's just cool. It's a cool factor.
Yeah, that is very
Yeah.
cool. I mean, it's a cool name. I mean, I think the name itself, people are kind of drawn to that, and there's a certain amount of curiosity that's involved with that, and beautiful brand.
So-
Beautiful brand.
So we got good questions coming in, but before I hit
Okay.
those, we got into rum. So where's this
Yeah,
journey into rum? Where's this happen?
So you got coconuts that you're selling for the water. Now we got rum. How did that all happen?
So it really goes again back to where we come from, right? So like we're rum people. We come from a cane spirits country, right? Both of our parents come from prominent cane spirits countries. My mom was Guatemalan, our dad's Venezuela, right? You got Zacapa, you got Santa Teresa, right? Like big names in rum. You leave the airport in any one of these countries, and it's the type of thing where you're like, I got to go to the duty free and get a bunch of, gifts for people. I'm going to bring bottles of rum. So, I grew up around rum. It's genuinely what I consume, what I drink, and what I prefer. To the point that like when we were babies, my brother and I were babies, they're numbing our gums with rum. Like it is that deeply in that deep in our veins, but we don't come from a spirits family, right? This is typically it's like a really family heritage heirloom type of business. We don't come from that. So like getting into it was really a series of serendipitous events. So you have like this sort of, we love rum, and it's what we genuinely, drink and love. And then couple things lining up in order for us to see a path in it. And the path was really laid out for us by consumers. We would sell these coconuts, right? And at first, like beverage directors, these same beverage directors that we'd go present to were like, okay, love the coconuts, they're great. How do I make a cocktail in them? And they were so, the hole that you could open in the coconut was so small that you really couldn't like make like a, elaborate cocktail where you're putting a bunch of ingredients or you're shaking anything. Or no. You should just pour something in. And so it was very natural for us to say, just put a shot of like a dark rum in it. Just put a shot of Zacapa, Flor de Caña, just off the cuff. That's what we were doing. And so what did that do? In a setting like, picture yourself ritzy hotel on Miami Beach, right? You have like all these cool hotels on Miami Beach, the type of people that are out on the pool deck, whatever.
A lot of people like Royer, we know, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
High rollers, we got it.
You
got
bet.
the high rollers, you got the who's who is sunbathing and vacationing in Miami.
Right.
They don't typically, right? They're not rum drinkers, right? Like we wouldn't categorize them as rum drinkers. They would be offered a coconut with rum in it. And at first they'd be, sometimes they'd be like, nah, I don't really drink rum. It's not my thing. And we would say to them, look, listen, again, we're putting like good rums in this. We're putting like high-end stuff. If you don't like it, just try it. And if you don't like it, you can bring it back. And in doing that, what we saw was that when people took their first sip of the coconut with rum, they were like, that doesn't taste like the rum that I know, right? Like they'd never experienced a high-end rum that had been, aged and whatnot. They were really just used to the stuff that you drink in a frozen on Carnival cruise lines. You know what I mean? Like they're not aware of it. So we introduced it to them in a way that was really fun in one way, where it was fun. It's sort of like a discovery moment. I'm on vacation or whatever. It was very clean. It wasn't like a sugary drink that you're having, again, frozen daiquiri or something. And in those, and in doing that, we approached a consumer, like I said, that wasn't really a rum drinker. And their eyes, I could see it in their eyes when they would have that first sip. They're like, okay, like I like that.
Things are changing.
Right? So you do that enough times. I did that for about 5 years of seeing that you're changing people's perceptions and their minds around what rum can be. That's when our interest truly to like take the next step and seeing, what was going on in like other spirit categories, tequila being the most obvious. That at that time you had Casamigos that was like really, really blowing up. We saw, we're like, every other category has these cool contemporary young brands that like, if you want to show up with a gift or something to a pregame, or like you want to show your friend a new bottle that you bought, they're showing up with bottles of tequila. Like that's what's cool right now. It already happened. And, you did cool whiskey brands, you had, Whistle Pig and whatever, like you had really interesting things happening. And yet in rum, it's remained as like these, legacy brands. They're wonderful, but they're not catering to the people hanging out on the pool deck at the Soho House. It's just not their type of crowd. So you see that, we're like, all right, we saw this sort of blue ocean, if you will, to sort of modernize rum and make it something that's a little bit more part of pop culture and like relevant to what's the generations that are a little bit younger. And that's where the interest came from. And that's where the education of like, what should we do came from. And then it was the next phase of it was like, all right, well, how are we going to execute on this? Right? Like have this idea. We didn't exactly know what the blend was going to be. We just know that we wanted to like do something in it. And it just, again, it goes back to agriculture. It goes back to our roots, is going back to Guatemala and just putting the intention out there, talking to people and being like, hey, we have this idea, somebody, oh, I know a guy, links you up with someone, right? And they're like, well, I got some great rum and I can help you. And that's kind of how it, in short, happened.
That's amazing.
That's awesome. I love that story, Danny. Thank you so much for telling everybody out there.
Thank you, first of all, for doing God's work, helping everybody understand that rum isn't just these normal everyday rums you see on a shelf, and going out there and proving it with cool coconut drinks, which is awesome. makes it way cooler. We have to convince people with regular glasses and rum. It's so much harder. So
It
we
is.
figured out a way smarter way to do that.
It is.
And
We
I love it.
gotta, it's a serious, hard world out there. Someone's gotta like, bring the fun and dedicate their life to make the fun moment. So that's my work. That's my mission here.
Yeah. I love that. That's
Yeah.
amazing. There's not enough people doing it. There is a lot of people that we come across that they're just locked in. We've done it this way forever. We're only going to do it. They're afraid to try new things. And it's the new things, the excitement that builds around it. You just did such an incredible job. You guys, everyone around you, I know you and your brother and everyone around you, you guys have done such a tremendous job, and it's noticeable. It's the reason that you guys are outpacing and growing and doing all this in the time that you've been around. Because you're out there grabbing some of this new venture.
And it sounds like you're doing it right too. You're actually paying attention to what's hot out there, what people are interested in, where you really want to take the company, right? Speaking of that, where do you see the company in 5 years? Where's Coconut Cartel going to be? Besides in every bar in America,
everywhere, and everyone's shelf.
Everybody's gonna be like, Captain, who?
Everyone's going to coconutcartel.com right now, and they're like, where do I buy this thing right now?
Yeah.
Where do I see the company in 5 years? Look, the obvious answer would be like everywhere, doing billions of dollars, right? Like that's
a great answer.
But really, I think it's more about like being sort of a disruptor and opening people up to the category. So I'd like it to be the catalyst of the aisle, the rum aisle in the store to evolve, right? Like I'd love to be that brand that like sort of kickstarted that, and we now see a lot like in the same, sort of similar to what we see in the tequila aisle, that we see a bunch of brands offering their own, value. So I'd feel really good about the work that we've done in 5 years if I could look back and say like, hey, like, we not only built an amazing brand and a company, but we brought the category to a different level, and hopefully brought some new people into the category. And that was honestly like, not to go just jump into the product itself, but like the Blanco was very it was designed in many ways to open people's minds and get people to to see rum in a different way without it being intimidating. So that's where like the brand and its fun sort of persona and whatnot comes to play. But the liquid inside the bottle is serious as hell, right? But if it was in a serious bottle, people might be intimidated to go there. So I hope that it kind of just like opens people's palates to the serious of the liquid, and it makes them curious to try other rums. Because there's just a lot of really great stuff out there to try, but I think it's a little bit intimidating when it's like, either like a French agricole, like crazy thing. They're like, no, thank you,
I love it. That's
okay.
And I love what you're doing. So obviously you guys are really smart. You didn't just get born into rum. You figured out, because you're a really intelligent individual. That's obviously where the coolest people in the world hang out. That's where you wanted to be. So you got into rum. You made this amazing rum. You get coconut rum, coconut water rum, and then you're getting into the Blanco. You mentioned the Blanco, and before the show started, you kind of talked a little bit about the little bit more of the agricole feel, a little bit more of this cane feel, getting into some of these. It's that sort of palate trek, which I don't know if you know this, you probably do because you guys are super smart over there and way smarter than we are. But we just talked about it last night that the trends right now, going through all of the articles and everything connecting, is that the next big thing in rum set for in the coming year is cane juice rum, agricole rum. It's supposed to be, we've had canned cocktails, we've had all these different types of rum, and now we're getting back to the roots of rum, and this is where it's headed next. And so you landed here. So you've touched on it a little bit, the Blanco. I mean, what is this all about?
Yes. What was the vision here with the Blanco?
So I think in the last 3 or 4 years, I've been dabbling more, as my own personal palate has evolved, right? Like I grew up with dark rums. That's what my palate was more used to. They're a little bit on the sweeter side. They're a little easier. But as I've been developing my own palate, I've, tried and gone into the nooks and crannies of all these interesting types of rums. And there's a rum in particular that took me over the edge. And that was a rum out of Mexico. It's called Charanda. Uruapan is the name of the brand, or Uruapan Charanda. It's this beautiful, cool blue bottle. I don't know if you guys have one there.
Yep, we got one right over here in the corner.
That shit took me to another level. Like I was like, whoa, what is this? Right? It's so tasty. It's tasty. That's what it is. It's so
this was very tasty.
You smell it. It's so like delicious. Like, and like it's maybe, and again, it might have been just as my palate developed that I could actually smell these things, but I went crazy over this, and I found myself making rum punches at home. Like super, like with juicy, like not like a teapot, but like a fruity, it's hot as hell in Miami. I'm going out on the boat. I'm going to batch a cocktail in like a big Yeti, and I'll make a big rum punch. And I would make it with coconut cartel, like our dark rum. But our dark rum is so easygoing. It's so soft that it would get lost in these rum punches. So I'd find myself grabbing this bottle of Uruapan and split basing the punch to give it that kick. And I could taste so profoundly the difference in the cocktail coming from that rum that comes back to it being just so damn tasty. So that's kind of where like my interest mostly came from on the white rum side. And then that opened up my door to like trying all different types of like cachaças, agricoles, anything that I could, cane spirit and other aguardientes de caña from Mexico, like anything I could try that I, obviously like equated it to sugarcane juice being like the base of it. I just really enjoyed the flavor of it. And so that's where the intention came from. And I found that, a couple things in the cocktail world in terms of like bartenders and things like that. Out of the top 10 cocktails sold worldwide, the 2 rum cocktails that are in there is the daiquiri and the mojito, just calls for a white rum. And so typically these cocktails are being made with a very benign white rum, right? Like a column still, like kind of clean, right? Doesn't really like, if I have a mojito, it's like, it's club soda, lime and soda, like and syrup. Like I don't really taste, it has a hit, right? Like it's hot, it has rum in there. Like I feel the heat of the spirit, but it's not really contributing much to the taste. Rip it with an uruapan or any one of these other, or a cachaça or something like that. Now you're talking. Now you have like a really tasty and interesting cocktail. So I was like, there's something there. And then on the other side of it is also like what I'm naming to you right now, uruapan charanda, agricole, cachaça is so exotic to most people that they're like, what the hell is that? Like, I don't even know, but it's rum. It's a cane spirit. It's really not that, crazy, but it's maybe a little intimidating. Like we really haven't seen cachaças blow up in the US. You haven't seen agricoles blow up in the US. And I think that it's because it's intimidating in the way that it's presented, because you have mezcals now that are super intense and complex blowing up. So to me, it's like, all right, you guys can handle it. Like everyone can handle this taste. Like you can take the heat, you can take the complexity. It just needs to be presented to you in a way that's like maybe not as aggressive, or maybe just like more on, less intimidating.
I think it needs to be in a coconut. I mean, I just think that's probably going to fix it.
Yes. So we haven't touched on this yet. And I think that the most important thing about Coconut Cartel is the use. The rum in itself is phenomenal, but the coconut water component in it is what really gives it that takes it over the edge of like being really great. Right. What does coconut water do? So backing up to our dark rum. In our dark rum, it's it's aged, it's very traditionally made, like Spanish style, Central American style. It's aged in American white oak. It's a column still rum. It comes from a sugar cane, like a golden molasses, so very light molasses, hasn't been like cooked down for too much. So So it's sweet, it's vanilla-y, caramelly, you have the oak, you know, it's on that side of the spectrum of flavor in terms of the rum. And then we use fresh coconut water that comes from the farms that we've been working with for over a decade now. So super fresh. We work with now we have a, you know, conglomerate of farmers because you need to source from various farms. So you take this fresh coconut water that is actually salty. It's salty water. Like if you think, if you think about it, it's salty water. It's thicker. It has this, like I mentioned before, there's this density to it compared to water. It's much thicker. It has a particular mouthfeel, and all the minerals in coconut water come in to what I say is act like salt on a chocolate chip cookie, or act like salt in your food. When you're salting your food, it's not to make it salty, it's to brighten the flavors of your food, of the food itself, right? And it also, salt acts to dampen bitterness, right? So when you put it into the dark rum, what did it do? It cut the bite almost completely. It enhanced the caramelly, vanilla-y, even coconutty notes that you get from the rum in itself. And it made it incredibly smooth to just sip neat or on the rocks. That was the effect that coconut water had on our dark rum. It sort of dampened out any bitter notes you might get from the aging, from the tannins, from the oak, and just made it like a super easygoing, really nice aged rum that you can sip on its own. So then I'm thinking, okay, I'm loving these white rums that are just like so funkadelic and like crazy, but typically they're pretty hot, right? They're like, it's not for the faint of heart. I wonder what would happen if I plugged in some of that coconut water and saw if, you know, what it would do to it, right? Like I've only had this one blend. That's what I worked on for 5-6 years. Let me get back in the lab and see like what would happen if I combined it with coconut water with a different type of rum. And so when I brought the coconut water into this type of rum, which is, it's sugarcane juice base, so it's not the golden molasses anymore. So sugarcane juice base, which off the bat is going to bring in a lot of more like herbaceous notes. It's going to be, you know, it's fresh cane that has to be cut on site because you can't transport this like molasses, right? So it has to be right there. We cut the cane, we press it same day, and immediately it goes into a fermentation tank because it's very volatile. Like it'll go bad in one day. So you have to get it into the fermentation tank, and it sits there for like 2 weeks to 20 days, which is a long time for fermentation for rum. Super long. It gets super funky, right? So it's fermenting. It's getting all its like yummy flavors. We then distill 2 ways. Part of it is going to be in a copper pot still, and part of it's going to go in the column still. The pot still is going to remain unaged. The column still will go into an ex-bourbon barrel for a year. We didn't go full pot still because here's where that idea of like, all right, how are we going to like make this style of rum that is a little bit mellowed out, because nobody's jumping straight into the what I ventured to, but I trained my palate, right? Like how do we get like just everyday people to like get there? So we had to mellow out a little bit of that like intensity of the pot still and the sugarcane juice in itself, right? So we combined that column still rum with it to mellow it out a bit. So it's about a 50-50 split, 50% split. And then we brought in the coconut water in the same way that we did for our dark rum to do our proofing. And the coconut water really controlled a lot of the heat that you get from these types of rums. It's 92 proof, so it's a hot rum in general. It's a high proof spirit, but when you taste it, you're like, it's not very hot. Like it doesn't really burn like as much as you would imagine it to. So what did that do? High ester rums from like our pot still rum is where you get where you have all the yummies from, like all the yummy, fruity, funky flavors you're getting from those esters, but that comes accompanied with a lot of heat. So like, let's dampen the heat a bit so you can actually taste the yummies. That's what the coconut water did. Sort of mellowed that out so that you could actually enjoy what the rum has to offer in a way that wasn't like intense. And that was just really special of like what the coconut water does, and made it what I'm sort of positioning this product as, is like your sort of entry level funky white rum, right? what I mentioned to you before. I want people to start venturing into the category more, but like we got to give some stepping stones for you to get there. You cannot go from like a, you know, what you know as a white rum to like an agricole like that. You'll fall off the ladder. So, so that's
as a person, because like I'm a smooth sweet rum person, and like I literally when I got into rum, like there's early videos of me. I have tears in my eyes in some of these reviews because we jumped hard, and I wasn't there and I wasn't ready, and it's so funny because now you get into these deeper pot still like agricole rums, and I enjoy them. I can pick out flavors. I don't just think that my mouth is on fire and I'm wondering how to put it out. So like I love the fact that you guys are incorporating that coconut water into it. As a person, that's exactly how I got there, was finding rums that had a little bit of those flavors, but it wasn't like I had to go all the way to level 10 to even get there. Like, that we got to have those in between steps. So I love it. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the idea. It's kind of like there's levels to this. So like leveling up your rum game. And listen, it's not designed to be a sipping rum. Like unless you're an agricole drinker, like drinking a tea punch or something kind of straight up, it's really not made for that. And sometimes like people who are fans of our dark rum are like, whoa, what the fuck is that? Like, whoa, because our dark rum is so easygoing. That's like, ooh, that's just like the easiest thing ever. So they go this and they're like, whoa, 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 whoa. So it is a cocktailing rum. So citrus-based cocktails, like your classic daiquiri. The daiquiri test, I had 2 tests for this. The daiquiri test was on one end. When it tasted right in the daiquiri is when I knew I was like, all right, boom, this is it. This is the blend. The other side of it was that it still has to taste good in a rum and coke. If it doesn't taste good in a rum and coke,
so this will be a good rum and coke then, right?
Rum and coke with a pinch of salt and lime, bomb.
Backyard rum drinkers,
awesome.
That's exactly what they're looking for. That's the first thing so many people are going to do because it's what they already know. They're going to buy a new rum, and the first thing they're going to do, we talk about it all the time. That's why we do our show the way that we do.
That's the #1 easy drink in all the world that everybody's going to go to, whether they admit it or not. It's going to be a rum and coke.
Yeah, backyard mixability. So I love that that's in mind.
So I got a question. So, I mean, I'm just so intrigued. I want to crack this thing open tonight. We're not going to crack it open tonight, but I really want to. But so I'm here and I'm listening. You're getting me excited about your products, and I'm like, oh man, this one's almost gone. This is almost gone.
So love the hype, man. So he's so good. He's for hire.
Why are we
open? Come yell behind you all day.
So I'm thinking to myself, oh my god, we got to get some more of this. We have to. So this is, we talked about this earlier. This is batch #1. So we are going to be forced to open up batch #1. I want to save this. I want to savor it. I want to save it forever and ever and ever, because I know Coconut Cartel, they're going to fly to the moon. So I'm thinking I need to go online. What's your website? You got a website, right, Danny?
Yes.
What's your website?
CoconutCartel.com.
So I'm going to go to CoconutCartel.com, and I'm going to venture a guess that you probably have a package of some sort, but you can actually get one of these and one of these.
Yes.
Am I right?
You're absolutely
right on that?
And tomorrow is our last day of we do 2 sales a year. Beginning of the summer and then Black Friday. That's it. So tomorrow's the last day of our summer sale. So
tomorrow's the last day of the summer sale.
We got like 36 hours here to get
this. Man.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm just going to pause the show right now. I'm going to hop online. I'm going to Coconut Cartel. I'm going to go shopping for some rum at Coconut Cartel at CoconutCartel.com. And so there, you've got a coupon sale promo.
It'll be automatically applied when you
automatically.
They made it easy.
Rum drinkers. And how much are we saving on the sale?
You're getting 15% off and free shipping on 2 bottles.
And free shipping. Oh, wow.
My eardrums are already blown from this sale. So
I'm getting my credit card out right now.
The money I'm saving from this rum, I'm going to be able to put towards my new hearing aid.
Yeah, baby.
I'm so excited about it. Helping me keep my hearing.
We're doing this tonight. You'll be seeing an order from us.
I love it.
make sure, you got, I think I'm gonna need a part 2 video of your reactions on the Blanco. I was hoping I could get one today, but
Oh,
you're gonna,
I mean,
do we want to?
I mean, if Danny says we should do it, I don't see why we shouldn't do it. I say we break some rules.
I know where the secret stash of batch ones is. So if you guys like it, the stork may drop one off, but no pressure. If you want to try it later, you can try it later.
I say we try it now because if I don't like it, I want to tell you
gonna-
right now everything I don't like about it. I've done that before to people, so it's really entertaining. When
I'll take it. I'll take.
But while we got you here, so we got some good questions that came in. Gregory came in here. The rumor is that you revitalized thousands of acres of coconut farms. Is that true?
Yes, that is true. So as I mentioned early on, a lot of these coconuts were farmed or were planted over 100 years ago for almond joy, and then were like abandoned, and there were wars, and like there was no coconut industry really in Central America. And then our little smuggling ring sort of revitalized the industry.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah, it's a really cool thing, honestly, to see that like there's now like there's more people in, exporting coconut products from there. It's not just us. There's more of an interest in coconut water in general, regionally and internationally. So like all those farms are now like up and going, and there's new farms that are being produced now, like people selling like the coconut seed, right? Or like the sprouted coconut to like encourage people to be able to start family businesses. So they're like, hey, like if you have a little farm and you plant these trees, like you can make a nice living from it. And so I think it's, not only do we revitalize what was there, but sort of sparked an ability to, get involved in agriculture as a business, as a young, as a entrepreneur or an existing farmer or whatever. So I feel pretty good about that.
You should feel good about that.
You should feel good. Don't even hesitate on that.
I mean, I didn't create the coconut industry.
I made a difference.
You are a good person.
You're making a difference.
No. I didn't mean, no. I'm just saying.
Guys, if you haven't figured this out yet, rum people are the best people, and we're showing you why that is right now. Absolutely incredible.
Absolutely. I mean, you are making a big difference.
That's awesome. And I got to tell you, smuggling has bad stigma around it, but now we got to question it. Is smuggling all that bad? I mean, it seems
you do have to kind of wonder that.
I think you got to do what you got to do. I think you got to do what you got to do, as long as it's not illegal things. Okay, guys, we're a nice cartel here. It's all about the hustle. It's about going through the side door to make it happen. It's about
we bend rules, not break laws.
Correct. I like that.
Yeah. Very well said.
There we go.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and open up this fine bottle from batch number 1.
I love it.
Batch number 1.
Oh, I just want to zoom in on the pain that you're feeling.
Here we go.
Love it. I love how every bottle speaks to you every single time it opens. It's just weird how that happens. So while Roy is pouring this into some glasses here, Greg came in with a good question here. I know you don't add sugar, but have you tested the product for carb content? I assume there is some from the coconuts.
So our dark rum has, by nutritional panel, sent it out to the lab, 1 gram of sugar or 1 gram of carbohydrates per serving, 1.5 ounce pour. We're actually waiting right now for our official nutritional panel on the white rum. I suspect it'll be something similar. I don't know what a sugarcane juice base, how that might differentiate. So we'll see. I'd imagine it's somewhere in the range, but it's not we don't add they're not packing it in with added sugars after we distill. So it's coming from the natural coconut water, what you might get in there.
It's awesome. Obviously, Greg's referencing the higher proof. The Blanco is 46% getting a higher proof. We do have a mention here of maybe trying the full pot still version. Is there any hopes of a high proof going to level 10 for Coconut Cartel? Is that going to happen at any point?
I'm guessing
if that's what the people want. If that's what the people want, we may.
Do you have other products kind of in the wings that you're testing and you're trying and some different things?
Definitely.
So I'm gonna tell you right now, if you by any chance need a little side group that kind of come in and
Test
you know
some theories,
test some things
throw
for you,
some ideas out.
yeah, give you some suggestions, some opinions.
We'll take that bullet.
I think we
got a group of people that would love to jump in front of that bus.
Yeah. So just
Okay,
saying, just tossing that out there.
that's a good idea. Yeah, we have some things, some ideas cooking. The idea is always with like what you'll always find with Coconut Cartel is that it's always gonna come from a place where we can trace our rums all the way back to our sugarcane. So, a lot of times in the rum industry, there's a lot of like bulk rum movement, people, brands kind of popping up, buying, bulk rums, and you can make amazing blends, like amazing tasting blends when you can combine multiple countries and like things like that, which is awesome value. From our side, it's more of like a single estate approach and like talking about the traceability to our agriculture. So, and also kind of like talking about like Latin American made rums, because it's, we're talking about going back to my roots again, like we're agricultural economies, cane spirit economies. So anything you see that comes out from Coconut Cartel will always be of that nature, single estate. We're growing our own cane. Maybe thought of bringing in some other agricultural goods into it. You have our coconut and our cane, and maybe involving some other things as well. Like you mentioned, some pot still stuff. Like we can get really dynamic because we just have the whole from cane all the way to the end. We have the ability to play. We have like amazing distillery partners that are willing to play with us. So we'll see. We'll see. It took me, listen, we were really dedicated to our first SKU for 5 years. We didn't put anything out because we were just like really locked in and making sure that worked before we brought the Blanco out. So I got to give the Blanco a little bit of its own TLC before I start ripping some others, but it gave me excitement, like doing it again. I was like, like now I want. But
I love that.
That's
gotta
awesome.
give
We
it
got
some
people.
love.
I mean, we got people here who are hitting that website. Carlos bought a pair already, and we got great merch, by the way. Yeah, we are sporting the merch. If you guys are looking for some sweet merch, they got sweet hats. We're repping here. You definitely got to check out that merch. And now we're gonna find out if we're really man enough to do this.
You can handle it. Oh,
it smells good. It smells fruity. It does have the fruity notes. It doesn't seem hefty. I've smelled some of these that really burn my nostrils off the get-go, and it doesn't seem like that.
Ready?
Well, I'm ready.
I'm taking a whiff with you guys.
Oh my goodness.
That is so much lighter than I thought it was going to be.
So much lighter than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
And the coconut, it kind of comes in like on a back note for me. The feel and the texture, there's like almost like a sweetness.
Man,
it's sugarcane juice, right? So you do get like that sweetness from like it has sugarcane. Like you definitely taste sugarcane. I get like.
You gonna do a rum and coke?
Try it on Coke. Let's see. But do you have like a little lime there? If you don't, it's fine. But like with a lime and a pinch of salt is like next level.
Yeah.
Run.
No,
Run.
no.
Ryan's gone. He's gonna do it.
God.
We're doing it. So here's the thing. The thing about this one is that we've had a lot of these different white rums. People are starting to play with it a little bit. We're seeing these more cane juice rums come in. What I love about this one is it's exactly what you did with the first one. And I love that you didn't go out and go too crazy and just do something completely different, that you kept it in the spectrum, because what you did so well with the first one is exactly why this one is so perfect, because you get the flavors, exactly what you were talking about. I'm a smooth, sweet rum guy. I used to cry at these rums, and you get these flavors of like this little bit of funkiness, a little bit of those fruit notes are in there, and a little bit of those agricole feel to it that is just so much lighter with that coconut water blend that just makes it smoother, easier. You say it's not a sipping rum.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I would tell you, I have called white rums, agricole rums, heftier than that, more of a sipping rum. I think this is, for people who like agricole rums, will sip this all day long. It's a nice, easy sipper. And then obviously for people coming into it, absolutely incredible way to get started into agricole rums and get that fun.
This is a this right here is a perfect starting point for anybody getting into agricole rums.
I'm so glad that you're so fast with a knife. Look how fast he sliced this lime. I mean, he's ready to go. I mean, he just literally like threw it up and then just dropped. It's amazing. That is incredible. Oh, it's in. Thank you. I didn't even see it. Do you slip stuff in my drink all the time?
Sometimes.
Oh my gosh.
Well, you guys are having a rum and coke now. We gotta
Yes.
promise me that over the weekend you're gonna make a proper daiquiri with your fresh lime here.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I know Greg's listening right now, and I'm guarantee you he's got a list right now of everything with low carb cocktails, making some drinks.
Wow, that's really damn good. I'm that Danny.
We got a problem.
Yeah.
This bottle's not gonna last very long at all.
It's gonna go this long.
That's okay, guys. This is the all right. Going on a side note, it's like Danny's not even here. I'm going on a Robert rant, and it's about to happen right now. This is the best rum and coke I have had in a very, very long time.
Yeah.
This is so far and above any rums we've had in a long time. Going into this mixture, this backyard rum drink, this is perfect for anybody that loves that atmosphere. You can make some amazing stuff with this. This is on another level. That is not even real right now. I feel like I'm discombobulated with words because I'm like, this is incredible. I'm a big sipper as far as like mixing drinks and making stuff and going on the lighter side, and this is awesome.
I'm looking forward to doing the review. I will tell you this. If you've had this Coconut Cartel, this matches very, very nicely right alongside it. You can absolutely tell from the quality, from some of the different tasting notes, the feel, the texture, everything. It's a very nice pair. 46%. Right here. And if you've never tried this, what are you doing with your life? I mean, seriously. Come on.
Goodness.
There's so many good rums out there. You need to be trying this one right here.
Like you guys think we just yelled at these cameras for the fun of it. You go out there and get some. I tell you what.
You go to Coconut Cartel. Go to coconutcartel.com and break out your credit card. You order a couple of bottles. Get yourself a nice little set right here. Be so happy you did.
So it's the best. This is amazing.
Now,
hold on. So you mentioned
I'm so excited.
You mentioned coconutcartel.com.
Yes.
Danny, are you aware that at least through batch number 9, that there's a typo on your website on the bottles?
Is there really?
That there is. I was investigating the other day, and by investigating I mean drinking your rum, and there it is coconutcartel.co.
Oh no.
Not typo. Supposed to be like this.
So we used to have coconutcartel.co, and then because somebody was hoarding coconutcartel.com, and we finally got our hands on it. And if you go to coconutcartel.co, it'll reroute you to coconutcartel.com. But
okay, so it's a real website. I can just leave the M out, which saves me so much time. Now I can buy them faster. I love that. That's even better. It's not a typo. It's a shortcut. I love that. That's amazing. Where were you going? Where are you yelling at over here?
I'm just so excited.
Oh, good. Thank you. It must have been super important. This is amazing. So, Danny, thank you so much. Is there anything?
Oh, hang on.
See ya.
All right. So, I want to say you're actually going to be joining us again sometime in July, correct? You're going to be joining the Rum Club, right? And we might have maybe some samples going out to the Rum Club members.
Yep. So everybody sign up. Get in it.
I love that. So that link's down below. Yes. Our Patreon Rum Club is down there. You guys can go there, check that out. If it serves an area that we can get it to you, you guys join. That's going to be amazing. We're super looking forward to having you join us.
Definitely have a lot of fun.
Maybe we'll make some daiquiris. I don't know.
That seems like exactly what we should do.
Proper DAC.
You send us an ingredient list of what we need to bring. We'll send it out to everyone, and everyone's showing up ready to go.
Yes. So from what I understand, if you go to coconutcartel.com, they actually have some drinks and some recipes there, right, Nanny?
We definitely have some ideas
that we can go ahead and just hop on that website.
I like
and
the short
check it out.
They just thought of everything. They're making it easy.
I know.
Okay, this is
They're
making life easy. And as a rum drinker, as a significant rum drinker, I just have to say I appreciate those things because I don't like things to be difficult, as most rum drinkers do not. So that's so awesome.
I'll tell you, you could even make it a little easier. Like you don't have to make like a whole cocktail, but you could, I recommend like some nice with the white rum, like if just like some nice mixers, like you could just like a rum and coke is great, but like if you like grapefruit soda, so get like a good grapefruit soda, like you could go Jamaican Ting, you could go with Fever Tree.
I've been saying it for years. I've been saying it for years.
Citrus soda is a nice citrus soda will hit the spot. So if you don't feel like shaking anything or
we'll work with grape pop.
Yeah, we're gonna get the good stuff. Okay, we're gonna get grape pop. If you go back on this show like 2 years, I've been promoting grape soda as the
mixer.
No, not grape soda, grapefruit. I haven't tried grape, but let me know.
Oh, grapefruit. Okay. Oh, I thought we were going grape soda.
No. I am a fan of grape soda. Let's be clear.
We're still working on
grape
that one.
soda, but I haven't tried it with this. I don't know how it'll do. It's a little on the sweeter side, but a grapefruit is citrusy and like tangy.
That makes sense.
It's really good.
I probably makes a lot more sense. You know, I'm so happy with this one. Yeah. This is really, really quite delicious. I am so surprised that the flavors that I'm picking up on the rum and coke, and super good call with the just the added little lime wedge right in there, really makes things sparkle, and it really brings more to life to it too. It's just tremendous. This is
super pumped, super stoked. Wow. Get on the website. My
grandmother always said that like good cooking comes from just simple, good ingredients. Like you don't have to have a crazy recipe. The ingredients themselves have to just be really good. So I've taken this mantra into my spirits, and I say, and in my cocktails, that you don't need a complicated cocktail if the ingredients are great. 3 ingredients is just enough to make a good drink. So
you guys were destined for greatness. You're super highly intelligent people who know so much about
you. And your brother make an awesome team.
I'm so excited.
You know, I mean, for his courage and tenacity of bringing in these smuggled coconuts into Miami, awesome. Getting things going. Awesome. You know, I mean, I bet he had some scary moments from time to time. You know, I don't know. You know, it's an incredible story.
You don't have to tell us. You can just tell me no. But like, you got any stories like him being muscled away for like trying to like sling coconuts and stuff? Like, you ever get muscled out of anywhere?
There were some like people that would start like maybe like competitors, if you will, that got a little weird with. But we definitely had. It was more on the farming side where things would get a little hefty sometimes. Where like we'd have to. Probably not good to talk about it on the air.
Yeah, we'll just leave it at that. That tells us everything we need to know. We're Iowan, so like farmers, like we get all good, Danny. We get the beef between farmers, right? Like we go.
My corn's better than your corn.
Yeah, we go tractor jousting. Okay, we
that and cow tipping.
So as we're kind of running in here, we got tons of good things to do, tons of good rum to make.
Yes.
Is there anything else that you want to mention we didn't touch on that you just want to get out there while we're here?
I think nothing too major, really. I think I really appreciate you guys the time to come in and share with you. And if you're listening to this and you're not a rum drinker, you're missing out.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're here to Sherpa you, so hit us up on Instagram at Coconut Cartel if you need some help or have some ideas or need a text for cocktail hotline type of situation. We're there to help. And if you are a rum drinker, I know that we don't fit into the box of rum of the we're a little bit avant-garde in that sense. But we're not what you think we are. We're not a flavored coconut rum, and I hope that you can try our spirits and have fun with it and enjoy it in a different manner. So,
heck yeah,
we hope you can get out of the box with us and enjoy it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing your innovation with the world
Coconut
of rum.
Cartel's going places. It's going to be huge. If you guys haven't bought one, get one. Go to the website. They got 1 day left on their sale. CoconutCartel.com. 1 day to go.
1 day.
You don't want to wait till Black Friday. You want your rum now. Go get yourself a pair of both of them.
Because you know what's going to happen come Black Friday? You're going to double your order. Because you're going to get your first order in the summer and be like, damn,
You're going to be giving Cartel Christmas.
Yeah.
Cartel Christmas.
Now,
there you go.
Now, if you guys are overly cautious, you want to be on the cautious side, you're like, I'm just not really sure. And you want a chance to try Coconut Cartel with a little bit less of a pressure.
Yes.
Join the Rum Club. Get down there, get the Patreon, get in the Rum Club.
Join us
next month.
That's a great
Next
community.
month, you're going to get that opportunity. So make sure you check that out.
And you'll have a chance to talk to Danny.
Yeah, absolutely.
Too, right?
Yeah. So we're really excited.
Bring your questions and your fears and all of the above. We'll work through them together.
I love it.
We're therapists now.
Wow.
We are
therapy through rum.
Exactly.
Therapy through rum.
We are unlicensed, but we have great advice. So
well, I don't know it's great advice. So we have some advice.
The more rum involved, the better the advice gets. That's all I'm saying.
More innovative.
It's gonna be amazing. So Danny, thank you so much
Thank you guys.
for hanging out, putting up with our shenanigans for an hour here and giving your time to it. We really appreciate you. We're really excited for everything you guys are doing. Excited to see your next steps over the coming years. To get to be a part of that growth with you guys means the world to us. We're behind you. Anything you need, anytime. If there's anything we can do with our 279 Instagram followers, we are ready.
You're YouTube famous. Don't worry, everyone's huge somewhere. You're YouTube famous.
I mean, I didn't want to have to break that flex out, but I thought it was necessary.
279.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal. Okay. So thank you so much for hanging out with us.
We appreciate you.
Everybody, if you didn't get a chance to ask the question, if you're watching this later, feel free to drop your question down. We'll get it over to Dan for sure. And we'll get that answer for you. And we really, really appreciate you guys being the best rum community in the entire world.
Cheers.
Give those thumbs ups for Coconut Cartel. And come back each and every week to make sure you're hanging out with the coolest rum community in the world. Royer, with that, let's get them home safe.
Always drink responsibly. Never drink and drive. And no rums were harmed during the making of this video.
See you guys later.
Take care.